It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, an artist, a lawyer, a student, you're big stepping. Everybody is needed in this time.
Big stepper, I'm stacking all this cheddar. Big stepper, I'm rocking this Piero. Big stepper, there's patterns on my sweater. These times I'm showing you where my head up.
Honestly, the process was kind of like, it was fun. I recorded it in SF, like I was in San Francisco. And usually before every session, I pull up songs that are inspiring me or left a mark on me, or I was like replaying it, you know, especially because like production wise, it's very important for me. Like, I don't just be like, yo, send me a beat pack and I don't care what it is, I'm just hopping on that track. Like, we have to build the story from the production, and then lyrically I hop on the track and I start to kind of flow and see what comes to mind. The rules I'm breaking when I hit the pavement, I wanted to rap. Like, there was this energy that I wanted to rap on the song and I just didn't know how to, but every time I would come into this like flow of rapping, it was real rap, like this like, you know, pungent energy, like very fierce. And so when it came to actually constructing the beat, I was like, the second half of the song can't sound like the first half of the song.
Big stepper, there's patterns on my sweater. These times I'm showing you where my head up. Rules I'm breaking when I hit the pavement. Things I change, I go and rearrange it. Life can feel the same when you're hating. In every dip and peak, back to dreams I'm creating.
Deciding that this was my next record, it was a time to be like, yo, like, what does Big Stepper mean? Like, what does that energy like carry? What's the story behind it, you know? And it's really about unapologetically being confident in your skin and ensuring that you're coming after everything and every opportunity that you believe you deserve.
What barriers exist for artists trying to break into the industry?
I think the biggest thing is having enough resources. Having enough resources and being able to have like a good team. I think those two sometimes really do assist an artist, because the people around you will make you feel the most comfortable. And if they don't, then you have to think about that, because there are times where you can also fall into doubt. And if your team doesn't really uplift you, then it's not gonna really assist you in any way, right? Resources. If you don't have resources, I think that limits the artist sometimes. It's a little bit overwhelming to know, like, not everybody wants to also, off the strength, like, help you. And I think I've seen that more so than like sometimes it depends on also who the artist is, because not everybody's gonna work with anybody just because I'm trying to do this thing. It's like, the way you carry yourself, the vision that you have for yourself, the vision that you have for this journey has to be strong to convince somebody to be like, yo, I got you. But I think resources wise, it's not just about opportunities. I think it's also about money, financially. Sometimes if you don't have that, it limits you, like being consistent with recording, being consistent with shooting a video, doing cover art, etc. For me, at least my brand, I always show that no matter what kind of budget you're working with, like even if it's $100, it really comes down to, can you think outside the box? What do you have in your house and what can you do? It's not gonna be to the quality that you maybe see it, but you can probably get to the closest shot that's closest to what you're trying to get, right? Like if you're trying to do a cover art, for example, and damn, this is gonna cost me $500 because I have to do this and I have to rent this and I have to do that. Okay, what can I do with $100? It's not gonna be exactly to the $500 budget, but maybe you can get closer to it, and then it's gonna be like, yo, I did this with $100 and it's close, the vision is there, the potential is there, but you know that if you had that resource, it will get to that.
I feel like I'm guided. These moments is timeless. These moments, they vital. This life is a cycle. You gotta take it easy on your life. Open your eyes to signs. These times we go define what this feels like inside. We just sleep on my.
Everybody's been putting in so much work that it really feels like we have the greatest scene, low key. Like, I feel like low key just because if you're looking for super hip hop, like, you'll find that. If you're looking for pop, you'll find that. If you're looking for R&B, soul, jazz, you'll find that. And I think maybe right before quarantine, it wasn't as diverse, or maybe I wasn't tapped in and I didn't know much about it. But I feel like in the past 3-4 years, the range and the quality has just kept going up, and people are actually putting on for the city, like Van Buren Records, like Bori Rock, like so many people, like Miranda Ray. There's so many different artists that are creating songs and music and albums that are just, it feels like, yo, I don't have to go outside and be like, yo, what's New York doing? Like, I don't even know what New York is doing because I know what Boston's doing. I don't look at Chicago, I don't look at LA, but the opportunities I think that are living here could be amplified now that the music scene is definitely on the rise, you know?
In general, what do you think a place like the Record Co. could do as a resource for artists in Boston?
I think honestly, it benefits a lot of artists who can't afford to be paying. Usually you're paying for the engineer and you're paying for the space, and it's at least like $60 an hour. Like, that's like the minimum. I got put on to Record Co. through a friend, Lucas, who produced with me on a few records, and I met him actually through him coming to my show, and he was like, yo, like, there's this like studio, it's called the Record Co. They don't charge too much. And to me, I was like, how much do they charge? Like, but at the same time, it was definitely beneficial because in these times, like I said, like, resources is very limiting. And when I say resources, sometimes it's a lot financially. And for you to continue on, to even put out a record, to be able to like mix a song, etc., you need a studio to actually record everything properly. Like, you can't be doing it from your bed if you don't have an actual setup. So when he put me onto the Record Co., I was leaving one of my sessions here, and I was in one of the rooms, and I think Lucas was with me, and I think he knew Bobby, or somebody like who I was with knew Bobby, and they said hi to each other, and he's like, yo, this is Neemz, and then there's like an introduction, and then I was like talking my upping myself. I was like, yo, I'm an artist on the rise here, you have to tap in, you gotta make sure you listen to my music, blah, blah, blah. And then he tapped in, and I think he was like, he just got put on, but him being tapped into like what I'm doing was like he didn't even hesitate. He's like, yo, I got you. Like, he's like, I'm gonna tap in. And he tapped in, and I think that relationship fostered because he's just been very supportive since, and like, you know, showing mad love and trying to figure out ways how to support. And I would tell him like my concerns, like, yo, like, as an artist, it's hard to be booking out studios like this and that. And he was really nice enough to host us for the Boston Music Awards rehearsal, so that was really special. He actually, I think, did it in the room next door, in the room next door, which was nice.
And the winner is...
Running up these miles, I'm betting on myself when I'm taking out these files, sticking to the vision, cause you know these stars align.
Did you have a lot of struggles, like, creatively or like technically, like trying to make that jump into making music?
Not really. I will say when I first started making music, it was a little uncomfortable just because when right before quarantine had happened, I was interning at a studio, and when I was an intern there, like, it was just for about a month or so, seeing artists walk in and out of the studio and being just a fly on the wall, like literally being an intern where you're just grabbing certain mics or chords or whatever the artist needs, made me get comfortable because you're hearing the artist laid verses be like and it will be different like ranges of artists. It'll be rap artists, pop artists, R&B artists. It could be like just a different experimental like artists. So hearing them be themselves on the mic allowed me to kind of experiment on my own and be comfortable, like, because I wasn't comfortable like hearing myself off the mic. I would always be like, I don't know, maybe more reverb, or like I'd be like more auto-tune, you know? So in that space, like, it allowed me to just get comfortable, and like whatever that sound came out of you was allowing you to experiment and be yourself, you know, and like just however you wanted to express yourself vocally, like you allowed yourself to do that. And so creatively, I would say like I just kind of did my thing. Like I would just always be inspired by my own story. Like what do I want to say? What is it that I want to hear from myself that's not already out there? Like type of music, the feeling, etc. But yeah, just like really getting comfortable in that space. But whenever I felt like I was creatively shy, I would just look at certain artists and how they would be confident in themselves and be like, that inspires me. I want to be that confident when I come to like sharing something. And you have to carry that confidence. Otherwise, you could be like, hey, this is my song, Big Steppa, what do you think? And like someone could be like, it's bad. Mm-hmm. And then that would be like, oh my God, I'm done. I can't make music anymore. But if you have that confidence, you're like, hey, I just dropped this song. Like, you know, I hope you love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. Like that type of thought process, it gives off like, even if you don't like it, I still love it. And that's, I wouldn't put it out if I didn't love it, you know? Mm-hmm. Otherwise it's gonna sit in the vault, because some people will wait on people to confirm or validate their like own song, but it's like, why did you put it out then? If you are relying on their validation, right? It's like you should validate yourself before it gets to that point anyways. Because then if somebody says, especially as you grow as an artist, there's so many haters. There's so many like people who also love you. So you don't also want people to be like controlling your ship. Mm-hmm. You control your ship. You control your story. The people that come to support that is always additional to that, but not like, we hate it. All right, cool. I'm quitting music. I'm done. We love it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna continue. It's like, no, like whether you hate it or love it, I still have to love it first, and I have to be able to be confident in it. And then that helps you creatively too, because you can get experimental and put out a song, and it doesn't do well publicly just yet, and you still love it because it doesn't take away from how you actually, you know, felt when you first made it or when you put it out in itself. So
yeah. Thank you so much for coming. I found your interview very inspiring, not only for me, but I feel like for other artists in Boston who want to hear all about how you came up from being a new artist to, you know, performing at the Boston Music Awards.
That was definitely like a highlight.
Yeah, but it was really nice to meet you.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm glad that we had this conversation. It was definitely very open, very communicative. But yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Love.